Hey Cyber Brats, thank you for being here. This video is near and dear to my heart because we are talking about a literal angel. She's a model, she's an actress, she's a dancer. Her name is Maddie Ziegler, and she has one of the most interesting starts to a career that I know of. Just make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm begging you. My life literally depends on it. Maddie was a child star on a reality TV show called Dance Moms. She's also the face of a pop star that goes by the name Sia. There's something really special about Maddie. She is charismatic, charming, energetic, confident, but everyone sees it but her because she's so humble and wholesome. Even with all the success she has, the world at her fingertips, you wouldn't even know it because of just how she carries herself. When Maddie used to dance, it was like she could hear every beat, every instrument to a song and synchronize the choreography perfectly and timelessly every time. Her mom would literally be sitting in the crowd watching in tears, ready to do whatever it took to make sure her daughter was a star. But what happens when you're one in a million? A diamond in the rough, a needle in a haystack, literally a child prodigy. When you have the looks, the talent, the personality for stardom, and a mom who loves the attention. I'll give you a hint. Nothing ever good. But seriously, Maddie's gifts and blessings were literally just that, a gift and a curse. Because as amazing as she is, it attracted some of the worst people. So, boom, already at the age of 2, Maddie already had her life planned out for her. She already was dancing at the age of 2. It wasn't until she turned 4 years old where she had to sell her soul to the Abbey Lee Dance Company. And if you're not familiar with the lore of the Dance Moms reality TV show, it was an abusive, extremely toxic environment that no child should have ever been a part of. It was traumatic for even the adults involved on the show. All completely crafted for our viewing, entertainment, and pleasure. And you cannot have reality TV without people literally questioning their own sanity. There was drama, there was screaming, there was yelling, slamming doors, fights, tears, racism, sexualization, affairs, embezzlement, gossiping, stereotyping, favoritism, fear mongering, manipulation, fear tactics, projection, trauma dumping. This hellhole of a dance studio is ran by no other than Abby Lee Miller, who is the girls' dance coach. Abby has an interesting way of teaching, you could say, because as long as she makes you a star, it doesn't matter how terrible or awful she treats you. Most teachers, they become teachers because they want to help kids, they want to help children, they want to help people progress and educate them and be their full potential. But Abby, she has kind of an obvious underlining agenda, which is she likes to win. She likes coaching, competitive dance, because she gets high off of winning awards, winning titles.
And I took them to the competition, and they won. And I took that little 12-inch trophy in my hand, and I suddenly knew what I was put on this earth to do. And that was it.
So if her kids aren't about to have an anxiety attack over making sure she wins and gets her high, you're 11 years old living with crippling fear of guilt and crushing anxiety over a dance competition. Nothing was worse than being on Abby's bad side or being her weakest link. But I don't think anything compared to Maddie's title of being Abby's favorite dancer. An expectation that was just unobtainable. Maddie was Abby's token, her prized possession, her backbone, her star. She spent a lot more time, effort, and money on Maddie. Abby was very calculating on the show and the way she ran her dance competitions. She would give Maddie the better costumes, the better choreography, the better songs. She would even give Maddie extra training. And of course, being a good dancer isn't necessarily an inborn talent, it's a cultivated skill. So she would be giving Maddie extra lessons so that she was the better dancer, the better performer. And then when the other teammates didn't do so well on their solos, duets, or group dance, she would use Maddie to bring the other girls down. It kind of isolate Maddie and put her on a pedestal. Now, the show is like 20% centered around the girls in actual dancing. Most of the show is the drama that's going on between these crazy moms who are showing up to set drunk. And mind you, these are kids who are working like 12-hour days, and their moms are sometimes pulling them out of school. A lot of them really were putting dance class over their actual education. And the kids missing school for dance class was encouraged by Abby, at least it was for Maddie, to be pulled out of class to go to her dance studio. There have just been numerous concerning situations between Abby and Maddie. For example, when Maddie was like 11, Abby forced her to do this duet with a boy her age. And at the end of the duet, Maddie was supposed to kiss the boy on the lips. And Maddie, being so innocent and pure and was afraid to do that. She didn't want to kiss the boy. And Abby made her kiss him anyway for the duet. And Abby was giving her a hard time about not wanting to kiss the boy, to the point where she grabbed Maddie's face and kissed her on the lips to show her how it wasn't so bad.
Oh yeah. That chick's sure getting kissed.
Kissing Gino in the studio is not what I envisioned for my first kiss. If it was Zac Efron, I would kiss him, but not Gino.
So right away, there's just like a lack of professionalism and boundaries. And I guess this is something that's really noticeable. Like, say in a professional environment where it's like everyone's known each other for so long, to the point where they get so comfortable with each other, they almost feel like they're family with one another. But at the same time, it's like there's boundaries that you do not cross. There was a really heartbreaking situation where Abby got into a fight with Maddie's mom, Melissa. Melissa storms out the dance studio with Maddie, puts her in the car, and Abby gets mad at Maddie for listening to her mom and leaving. So she proceeds to guilt trip Maddie the next day, guilt tripping her, making her feel bad, crying to her. Abby was like just horrified with Maddie for listening to her mom and going home from dance practice early. Just insane.
Awful, Maddie. I don't deserve that. I didn't deserve any of it. And you sat out there.
I'm sorry.
Why didn't you get out of the car and go? No, I'm going in there.
I'm sorry.
Maddie, no solo. Think about what you've done. It's going to take a long time.
Abby does this thing. She does it with all the girls, but especially with Maddie, where she likes to let them know how replaceable they are, how insignificant that they are, that they could just be replaced by anybody. But you know what? For Maddie, I don't think that's true. I don't think Abby is able to just replace Maddie the way she wants Maddie to believe. Because the way that Abby Lee Miller feels about Maddie is like no other that she's ever felt for any other student. And maybe to some people that might seem like something that's really sweet and endearing, but it's actually twisted because she has this emotional attachment to an 11-year-old who's her student. Like, yeah, you've known her since she was like 4, but it's still like that professionalism, that those boundaries. Like, why are they just non-existent? Abby's over here tearing Maddie's family apart, okay? So during all this going on while they're filming, her mom and dad are having a divorce. And her dad has even said, "You've known what this dance studio has done to my family." And I just really want everyone to pay attention to the toxic, predatory abuser signs we're seeing from Abby.
I know my daughter more than you do. Trust me. I know my
I
daughter.
spend more time with her.
You know what this dance has done to me and my family, don't you?
Well, you know what? You keep saying that,
It's
but I'll
true.
tell you what.
You have them brainwashed to live in fear.
I didn't need Melissa to be at the studio. She wanted to be there all those hours.
That's not what I'm trying to.
Abby really doesn't like Maddie's dad because, I mean, Abby claims that Maddie's dad makes her really nervous, which is crazy because Abby, I think you make her the most nervous than anybody. But Abby doesn't want anyone to have control over Maddie but herself. Someone who was just supposed to be her dance teacher bled into every personal aspect of her life. Maddie's dad had to be X'd out of the picture because he stood more of his ground. Melissa, Maddie's mom, on the other hand, was super submissive, willing to do whatever it took to give Maddie this career, even if it meant embezzling money for her dance teacher, allegedly. And Maddie, being the submissive, sweet, caring girl that she is, was stuck in the middle just trying to make the people she loves happy. During every season of the show, during almost every episode, we were seeing in real time the emotional toll this was having on the young girls on the team. There was a dance competition where Maddie had a solo and she completely choked in the middle of her song, which was completely out of character for her. You could just tell that everything she had been holding in, everything she had been suppressing and holding her tongue about and trying to please everybody, it got to her. It got to her and she panicked. She runs off stage, literally having a panic attack. Like, I didn't even know girls that young could experience panic attacks. Like, it was just so hard to watch. She is literally petrified. And the whole time a camera is just zoomed in on her face. What was Abby's reaction to all of this? Quite interesting, to say the least. She actually starts crying. Mind you, there have been plenty of girls who fumbled their solos and never had any comfort. They were yelled at, they were screamed at, they were belittled, they were berated, they were punished. Did you guys just notice that how when she goes to give Maddie a hug, she lifts up her dress rubs her butt while hugging her and then puts her dress back down, and the camera like very intentionally blocked the view. Abby cried. Abby hugged Maddie. They were consoling each other. And of course, this made the other moms mad because their daughters were never showed the same grace or mercy. And the yelling and the screaming starts all over again. The show had gotten so toxic and stressful, the moms would literally be in tears asking themselves what they were putting their daughters and themselves through. Now, I never read the contracts, but apparently the contracts that they signed were pretty strict. The contracts kept them stuck on the show for a long period of time. Eventually, after the years, the blood, sweat, and tears Maddie poured into her passion for dance, she finally seen a way out. Literally, Sia, the pop star icon Sia, contacts Maddie on Twitter talking about she's so obsessed with her and wants Maddie to dance in a music video for one of her songs. And what seems like Maddie's way out is only the beginning of a new cycle. This new introduction to Maddie's career was leading her down a further path of more exploitation, manipulation, and the lines between right and wrong are completely blurred. So from the very beginning, Sia treated Maddie a lot different than any other artist she had worked with before. For example, there was another little girl that Sia had scouted off of the internet to have her perform and feature in one of her music videos. When the little girl came to set, Sia wasn't there. She wasn't even there to direct or supervise her own music video for her own song. The little girl and Sia never interacted, never met, nothing. However, with Maddie, she was very eager to meet Maddie and work very close with Maddie, even to the point of making Maddie the face of her entire brand. Now, Sia has stage fright or is very shy. She doesn't like performing in person. She doesn't like being seen by people. She literally wears these crazy hairstyles that cover her eyes, or these masks, or these sunglasses. So she's kind of fostered this pressure onto Maddie to be her, essentially, a little mini me. Even going to the point of claiming she will not work unless it's a project that involves Maddie. Even claiming she continues her career, her songs, and projects to keep Maddie busy. Which, to some people, that might sound sweet. Like, oh, Sia's giving Maddie these opportunities. When really, Maddie is so talented on her own. She can sing, she can act, she can dance, she can model. She has opportunities and brand deals falling in her lap. Sia wants the control. She wants to be the one that's telling Maddie what to do. The first project Maddie and Sia worked together on is Maddie dancing for Sia's music video, Chandelier. Maddie was still working at Dance Moms at the time as well, and the music video blew up. It was an amazing song, an amazing music video, like just one of those music videos you never forget. It blew up. Maddie did amazing. The music video literally won an award for Best Music Video. And Maddie was only 11 years old. Then she ended up performing the same routine at the Hollywood Bowl live in front of all the celebrities you could think of. Yeah, Maddie turned into a bigger star after Sia and the opportunities Sia was giving her, but Maddie was already going to be a star. Sia just got to her first. Why did Sia and Maddie's music video do so well? I remember seeing it for the first time and I watched it so many times, and I will just always remember that music video to this day. It was just so different. It was random, artful, animalistic, raw, like uncut. It was just a masterpiece. It really was. A great artist, a great performer is going to make you feel it, and you felt it. Now, the same thing cannot be said for their next music video, Elastic Heart. In Sia's single Elastic Heart, Maddie can be seen dancing around in a cage with a grown man while they're wearing like nude suits. I guess the music video was left up for interpretation, and people had a lot to say about it. A lot of people thought it was very inappropriate, but apparently the whole concept was that they were two animals stuck in a cage. So, Maddie was 12 years old and she had never danced with a much older guy before. And mind you, this dude is like in his underwear. And at one point, they wanted Maddie to slap him, and she talks about being scared to do that because she's never hit anyone before. And I don't know if you're noticing a recurring pattern of these older women forcing her to do things she doesn't want to do just so they could push the limits and cause controversies with their choreography and performances they come up with.
Every time between takes, they would come and say, you need to be more aggressive. You need to bite him harder. You need to slap him harder. And I'm like, I can't. I don't want to slap someone. That's like scary. And Shia kept saying, no, you need to hit me as hard as you can. It's not real until you hit me as hard as you can.
Now, I can't say if Sia had really bad intentions with the music video or not, but it does seem like she does take Maddie out of her comfort zone, which can be a good thing for an artist and performer, or it can be a bad thing. And this is where the lines get blurred. Now, somewhere along this relationship with Maddie and Sia somehow manages to convince Maddie's mom to make her Maddie's legal godmother. And Maddie's mom does it. So, according by law, Sia, who was once a complete stranger to Maddie until she found her on the internet when she was 11, is now her godmother. Not only that, Sia herself has said that her and Maddie have sleepovers together where they cuddle. My bad, did that sound completely creepy and weird to you? Yeah, that's because it is. What do you mean this random old woman scouted Maddie at 11 years old on the internet, saw her getting emotionally and verbally abused on TV, scouted her, and then started controlling her life and cuddling at sleepovers together? And her mom, it just seems like her mom is just willing to trust anybody with her daughter. Like, as long as you're making my daughter famous, like, what? And I know someone out there is going to be like, how is she controlling her? She could just leave at any time. No, these predators will target their victims young. Even better if they're already in a vulnerable situation, right? Just how Maddie was. They'll give them opportunities that are hard to say no to, giving them success. Sia even bought Maddie her first car for her birthday. Then making that person feel like, well, you owe me. I did all these things for you. I've helped you so much. You're indebted to me. And not even that, just the emotional labor too, where she's like, Maddie's my muse and I can't work on anything without her. putting like with her like this emotional labor and stuff. And Maddie, she's just such a like kind and like submissive person. Like it's just her personality. Like she's been like that since she was young. And you know what these predators love even more is a naive, neglectful mother. A mother who's just gonna turn a blind eye, not protect her daughter. Yes, have sleepovers and cuddle with my daughter. Yes, I'll make you the godmother. Now, Sia likes to play this overprotective role over Maddie, right? That might come off as caring and endearing, but it's much more malicious underneath the surface. Now, Sia doesn't want Maddie working with any other producers, etc. She doesn't trust them. So that's why she pays for security for wherever Maddie goes. Supposedly, it's because she made her famous and now she feels like she needs to protect her. But I think Maddie really needs protection from her. Coincidentally. Is the security to protect her or to watch her? Now, Sia seems to have this pattern that she knows what's best for Maddie, and she can make all the right decisions for Maddie. However, that has proven itself false. Let me bring you into our next example that could have been completely avoided if Sia would have used common sense. Sia decides that, I don't know, she's bored of music and she wants to make a movie. And you know Sia, if she's going to make a movie, it has to be different, profound, outside of the box, out there, unordinary. So she makes a movie named Music. And in Sia's own words, it's a love letter to caregivers in the autistic community. It was nominated for 2 Golden Globe Awards, and I guess Kate Hudson was nominated for Best Actor. Now, you would think a movie for the autistic community about autism, that the actor would at least be autistic. No. It was Maddie, a neurodivergent person, pretending, copying the mannerisms and behaviors and personality and characteristics of what she and the producers thought was autism. Now, Maddie, the one who actually has a heart and common sense, she did not like playing this role. She was completely uncomfortable by it. Was like crying on set, begging and telling Sia this that she didn't want to do it, that it made her feel bad. And she was scared people were going to get mad at her because she knew it was wrong. It felt wrong. Her gut was telling her it was wrong. She knew it was wrong. She knew people were going to be mad about this. And you know what Sia said? Or you know what Sia did? She made her do it anyway. She tells her, because I guess Sia just knows everything. She can protect Maddie from anything because she has feelings for Maddie. Sia is so delusional. She thinks that this weird love she has for Maddie is enough to protect her from anything. Like, she's so, like, childlike about it. Like, she just thinks that she's gonna save Maddie from everything, when the reality is she needs to save Maddie from herself. It's the pot calling the kettle black. I'm serious. And as you guessed it, the backlash was horrific. People were not happy about this at all. Like, a lot of people have a very soft spot for people with special needs. Like, You know, a lot of people know someone with special needs who's close to them that they love, that are going through challenges every day that are hard to manage, hard to watch. Like, this is a sensitive topic for people, and Sia handled it so carelessly. One of the controversies, besides Maddie being neurodivergent and not autistic, was that there was a scene in the movie where they used like physical restraints, and that's a huge no-no. Autistic people do not like that. So them like promoting it and glorifying it for the movie was disgusting to people. The autistic community had a lot to say about this. Their main point was like, we do not need the false representation. If you want to represent the autistic community, choose a autistic actor, someone who's actually autistic to represent them, which is just common sense, right? But she is so tunnel vision and obsessed with Maddie that she can't see anything past that. Now, this is just speculation on my part, but I think after all the backlash and Sia forcing Maddie to do this movie she didn't want to do, I think that for the first time something shifted in their relationship dynamic. I'm assuming behind the scenes, not anything anyone knows about, but maybe Maddie started pulling away from Sia after this. Like, it might have been slightly a wake-up call for her. Sia ends up turning to drugs and alcohol after 10 years of sobriety, even feeling suicidal and having to go back to rehab. Now, do we really think that was all over the hate from the movie? Or because Maddie was pulling away? The craziest part was when Sia claimed that the online backlash caused her to be a level 2 autistic after having some testing done. Sia just seems to do and say the strangest things that defy all common sense. So, for example, like in 2019, during quarantine, she watches a documentary called Foster and then decides to adopt this random 18-year-old boy who was aging out of the foster care system. And then she's like, hey, just bring a friend with you and you could both just live with me. Another weird, bizarre thing she's done is she has a son, her firstborn, and named him Somersault. That's not even a name. Now, with Abby, she was controlling, manipulative, abusive, hot then cold, sour than sweet. This was a lot more blatant and obvious. It wasn't hidden. Sia is just as controlling, obsessive, and creepy. But for some reason, it's been able to just fly under the radar, left unquestioned. Because some people can be mean and nasty without being mean and nasty. Her demons lurk in the shadows, unquestioned, overlooked. But she's just as dangerous. Now, Maddie ends up cutting all contact from Abby Lee. We don't have a specific answer. However, the writing is just on the wall, right? We all saw it. She gives a very PR answer that she's content with her decision and doesn't want a relationship with Abby. We all know the truth. And there was definitely probably more behind the scenes that we can't even imagine or don't know about. Unfortunately, Maddie doesn't have that clear picture with Sia yet. She's only 23. She still has time. As of right now, it seems like she's doing her brand deals, modeling. It's invited to events, is in a happy, healthy relationship with her boyfriend. They be looking cute together on Instagram. And yeah, just wishing her the best in life. And, you know, being just a super unique, talented, charismatic, beautiful person that she is, has just attracted some harmful people who really just don't have her best interests. So I hope she just further grows and learns to protect herself in this crazy world full of crazy people. All right, cyber brats, thank you so much for watching. Any feedback is always appreciated. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see ya in the next video.